There are days in life when everything feels too loud. Not because the world has changed, but because the noise inside your mind has become heavier than anything happening outside. For a long time, that's exactly how I felt. My head was filled with too many thoughts, too many responsibilities, and too many expectations, both from others and from myself. Every morning I woke up with a weight pressing on my chest, the kind you cannot explain but can deeply feel. Notifications became my alarm. Emails became my breakfast. Scrolling became my escape, but none of it made me feel alive, just occupied. I wasn't sad. I wasn't broken. I was simply exhausted. In a way that sleep could not fix. One morning, after another night of restlessness, I looked in the mirror and felt like I didn't recognize the person standing there. My eyes looked tired. My shoulders dropped. My spirit dimmed. Somewhere along the line, I had forgotten how to breathe. Step 1. Walking away from the noise. Seeing my condition, my brother gently insisted that I step outside for a while. Not to run away from life, but to return to it. Even though I resisted at first, a part of me knew he was right. So, for the first time in a long while, I chose to pause. I closed my laptop, left my phone behind, and stepped out of the house without a plan. The city was loud, full of traffic, people rushing, horns blaring, buildings towering over everything. But as we drove farther away, the noise began to fade, slowly. Steadily, the world grew quieter. I watched as the gray tones of the city softened into greens and blues. Tall buildings melted into open skies. For the first time in months, the air I breathed felt real cold, refreshing, grounding. Step 2. Entering the peace of nature, we reached a place surrounded by tall trees, sunlight filtering through their branches like golden threads. The moment I stepped onto the trail, something inside me shifted. The silence was not empty, it was alive. The rustling of leaves, distant chirping, the whisper of wind, it all felt like nature was speaking a language I had forgotten. As we walked, the ground beneath my feet made a soft, crunchy sound, a small but comforting reminder that I was present. Really, genuinely present. The deeper we went, the more it felt like the forest was absorbing the noise that had been living inside me. Thoughts slowed. Breathing softened. The tension behind my eyes began to loosen. It was as if the world had created a safe space just for me. Step 3. Rediscovering stillness, we reached a stream that looked almost unreal. Crystal clear water flowed gently over smooth stones, sparkling under the afternoon light. The sound was soft, rhythmic like a lullaby for a tired mind. I sat beside it and watched the water move freely, not rushing, not fighting, just flowing. For a moment, I wondered why I couldn't be like that, letting life move gently instead of pushing myself through every single day. As I listened to the water, my thoughts started to align. Worries didn't disappear, but they stopped shouting. Stress didn't vanish, but it loosened its grip. Nature didn't fix me, it simply gave me space to breathe. Step 4. The moment that changed everything. Hours passed without me realizing. And then we reached a lake still, silent and breathtaking. The surface reflected the sky like a giant mirror, giving the illusion that I was standing between two worlds. I sat down again, and for the first time in a long while, I let myself feel everything I had been ignoring: the pressure, the expectations, the guilt, the fear of slowing down, the fear of not being enough. As the sun slowly sank, painting the sky orange and pink, I finally admitted something I had been hiding. I was tired of pretending to be okay. I felt like I had been running every day, running to keep everyone happy, running to meet goals, running to stay strong. And somewhere along that journey, I had lost myself. But that sunset felt like a reset, a moment of truth, a reminder that life is so much bigger than my worries. Step 5. Returning with a new heart. As we stayed until the sky turned dark blue, I promised myself something. I would not let the world consume me again. I would make time to breathe, to pause, to feel, to live. I didn't become a new person. I didn't magically erase stress or fix my life in one day, but I remembered who I was beneath all the noise. When I returned home, the city still buzzed with chaos. The emails were still waiting. The schedule was still full. But I wasn't the same anymore. Something inside me had shifted. I had chosen peace. And now, whenever life becomes too loud again, I return to that memory. The trees, the water, the wind, the sunset. A reminder that I don't need to escape life. I simply need to return to it, one breath at a time. Step 6. The walk that slows time. As they continue along the forest path, Emma notices something unusual. For the first time in months, her steps feel light. Every crunch of leaves beneath her shoes feels like a small reminder that she is here. Right now, in this moment. The world inside her, normally loud and chaotic, starts to quiet down. She begins to feel time slowing, as if nature is gently pulling her away from everything she thought was urgent. Step 7. The moment of stillness. They reach a wooden bridge hanging above a calm stream. Emma stops. She places her hands on the railing and watches the water flow beneath her. Every ripple feels like a thought leaving her mind. One worry, one expectation, one burden, dissolving with the current. She closes her eyes and whispers to herself, "I've needed this for so long." Not a break from life, but a return to the part of life she forgot. Step 8. The unexpected release. As they sit beside the lake, the weight she carried for months finally cracks open. She feels tears forming, not sadness, but release. A quiet surrender. Ethan doesn't say a word. He just sits beside her, letting silence speak for both of them. In that stillness, Emma realizes something powerful. She has been running for so long that she forgot how to simply exist. And nature, without asking anything in return, is teaching her again. Step 9. A new promise to herself. As the sky slowly turns orange with sunset, Emma makes a quiet promise, not to the world, but to herself. A promise to slow down, to listen to her heart before her schedule, to choose peace even when life feels heavy, to step outside when her mind feels trapped, and most importantly, to never again let the noise of the world be louder than her own inner voice. Step 10. The sunset that speaks without words. As the sun dips lower, the sky blooms into soft shades of gold and pink. Emma watches in silence, feeling the light touch her face, warm, gentle, grounding. The colors feel like a message from the universe, whispering that endings can be beautiful too. She realizes she doesn't need to chase everything. Some things like this moment just arrive when she stops running. For the first time in a long while, she lets herself simply be. Step 11. The conversation she never had with herself. They sit by the lake as the world quiets. Emma rests her hands on her knees and speaks softly, not to Ethan, not to the trees, but to herself. She admits the things she always buried deep. Her fears of failing, her pressure to seem strong, her guilt for resting, her worry that she's not enough. But as she speaks, something surprising happens. The world doesn't fall apart. Instead, it feels lighter. The truth, once spoken, stops being a weight and becomes the first step toward healing. Step 12. The realization that changes everything. She looks around at the vast trees, the quiet water, the endless sky, and suddenly understands something she never noticed before. The world isn't rushing. Nature isn't hurrying. Nothing in this place forces itself to be perfect. Everything grows slowly, quietly, patiently. She realizes she doesn't need to be perfect either. She only needs to grow at her own pace, in her own way. This thought settles in her heart like a gentle truth she should have known all along. Step 13. A quiet return to herself. As the last light fades behind the trees, Emma stands up and stretches, feeling her lungs full in a way she hasn't felt in months. She feels grounded, awake, and unexpectedly hopeful. The anxiety she carried is still there, but softer, like a shadow instead of a storm. She walks back toward the path with a slower step, a clearer mind, and a promise within herself. This time, I will not lose myself again. And in that moment, she isn't just returning home. She is returning to herself. Outro for video. Thank you for walking with me through this journey. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, where do you go when you need peace? Until next time, stay calm, stay kind, and take care of your heart.